Hello and welcome back to Era of Exploration, our Archons and Acolytes campaign. So in the last episode, you guys had met and decided to join a very interesting looking man named Yusuf, who introduced himself as Yusuf al-Ammar, a rather ambitious man, apparently from the Southlands based on his appearance and his clothing. He was interested in hiring you to help him find something that he indicated was part of his ancestry. So you guys agreed. You accompanied him to a place called the White Tower that was in the interior city, the walled city. He went into the White Tower. You guys waited. He came out, and he seemed to indicate that he would be willing to pay you to accompany him across the east bend of the river, which you all know to be a dangerous, kind of lawless place because it's outside of the claim of any kingdom, particularly of the kingdom of Imphais, which is where you are currently in O'Shale. So that you guys had a chance to prepare yourselves. Is anyone currently wounded? Okay. All of you who got beat up in your bar fights, with necessary medical attention and rest during an entire day and a whole night, you have recuperated all of your health that was non-lethal damage. So the next morning arrives bright and early, and you guys are to meet Yusuf at the White Tower.
All right, I guess to start off, we walk over there. I put on my cloak, I get my backpack all set up, and I'm ready for trekking.
Okay. Know him to Sheas Joel? What is this?
I mean, he did him last time. So
I dabbed some of the holy water from my vial on my forehead, and I prayed to Sheas Joel.
Okay.
And I'm ready.
All right. As you approach the White Tower, it's quiet in this neighborhood. There are other temples and small shrines, basically representing almost every one of the deities in the pantheon. You see Yusuf, he seems to be wearing more appropriate clothing for the region. It looks like perhaps he outfitted himself with something from like clothing that would be more appropriate for the rugged journey that you guys are going to make. He has like high hard boots, he's got like thick kind of pants and a shirt and a tunic, and he's wearing like a plate chest piece. He still has his curved blade with him, but he also has like a backpack, a bedroll. You see he has like a length of rope over his shoulder with a grappling hook. He sees you guys approach, and when you arrive, he says, "You are all ready for the journey, yes?"
Yeah.
Yes, we are ready.
Aye.
He says,
We.
"The wise ones of the White Tower have suggested that we head east to the river. There is not to be any sort of ferry or bridge that will be found. We will have to find a way to cross. I have been told that east of the river is a dangerous place. It is here that I will require your assistance most."
Very well.
He says, "Do you trust that I will provide you with the payment, that I have the means to do so?"
Yes.
Yes.
Very well. Let us proceed then. He gestures east, which is not hard to find. It's early enough in the morning where like the sun hasn't even crested the mountains. So it's light, but you don't even see the sun yet. You guys begin walking east, and you walk out of O'Shale. Past the ring, which is like the neighborhoods that kind of surround the central walled city, becomes a little more sparse. You still see like occasional cottages, and as you walk for the first like hour, you kind of get out into more rural areas, and you're basically walking on a dirt road. Occasionally you will see like a farmstead, or you'll come across like a small hamlet, like a cluster of like 3 or 4 cottages, with adjacent farms. But as you go further away from O'Shale, it becomes a little more rural in nature. You guys are traveling, and after the first 4 hours of traveling on foot, you come across an area that has like a fair amount of trees. It looks like a little more like natural, like you've passed by farms and then it kind of just became sort of prairie and tall grass with sporadic trees. And now you're kind of coming into a little bit of more of a forested area. There's still a path, and it looks like maybe a path that people take east-west, but it doesn't look as well traveled as the rest of the road that you guys have traveled. And as you were going through this kind of forested area, all of you should make a perception roll. This is a straight ability check. So roll the number of dice that you have for perception.
Just perception?
Yep.
3.
6.
4.
Okay. I'm going to roll for Yusuf as well. So as you guys are moving, Yusuf kind of looks around and you see he seems a little more suspicious. As you guys are walking, you notice, Marex, you notice that like you're about, a couple hundred yards into this kind of like wooded area, right? You've got forest on both sides of you now, and this path is sort of, it's not a straight path. It kind of like cuts through and winds around, but you notice something odd. You notice that like at one point you heard, the sounds of nature and birds and stuff, and you notice that it has become eerily quiet as you guys are traveling. What is your marching order? Who's up front?
Cristofaris?
Sure. Yeah, probably me up front.
Okay.
I should be in the back.
Yeah.
There's always the back line.
Caboose.
No.
Who is after Cristofaris?
I'll be after Cristofaris.
Sure, because we might want to stagger people so that.
All right, do you want to be second then? Is that
Sure.
what you're? Is that what you're saying?
I have high perception, so.
Okay, and then do you want me to be third or Yusuf third?
Yusuf can be third.
Oh, I'll be fourth.
Okay. As you guys are walking, you hear a twig snap, like kind of in the woods off to your right.
I look over there.
Okay, you do.
Okay.
You don't see anything.
I walk over there to investigate, and I let other people know that we might want to go check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Is anybody going with?
I'll go with them.
I'll stay with the rest of the group.
Yeah, I'll stay.
Okay.
I'm going.
I trust him enough to be able to take down our
Yusuf
bunny rabbit.
puts a hand on his scimitar, but he doesn't pull it out.
Yeah.
What do you have at the ready?
I'd say longbow.
Okay.
I'm going to be prepared to draw my short sword, but I'm not going to draw it yet.
Okay.
I will draw my long sword.
I'm going to suggest, signal to Cristofaris to put it away for now, but be ready.
Okay. As you guys walk about 25 feet into the woods, there's like a fair amount of underbrush and stuff. You see and hear like another crack of wood about 15 feet away, and you see what looks like somebody behind a tree.
Right.
You see like their leg and elbow kind of jutting out from behind
Do
the
you see
tree.
any weapons?
You don't see any movement, and you don't see any weapons, but you see like the person must be standing up with their back to the tree, and there's like a tree, and they're kind of, you see just their elbow and like one of their legs, like just barely peeking out from behind that tree.
Should we offer him a super sweet deal of a car warranty?
Yes. No, I'm going to signal to Yusuf to flank left, and then I'm going to quietly get, Cristofaris to follow me, and
Okay.
just motion to approach the tree, but be ready.
How far away are they from us? Can we see them? still?
They're about 30 feet into the woods now.
Okay.
So you could see them, but there's, kind of trees and stuff between, so it wouldn't necessarily be an easy shot.
Okay.
But it's still, you can see them.
Can I ready an arrow?
You could. Why don't you guys make agility plus stealth rolls to see if those of you who are trying to move
Just
up
those two?
towards the tree,
Probably just.
unless you decide that you're going to join them,
I'm not, but could I ready my longsword? Because I haven't readied anything yet.
you can.
6.
Okay.
Agility and
Stealth.
stealth. Okay. Oof.
Oh,
my
fun for
God.
you, Angus.
3.
Oh, not bad.
Okay.
Angus, get us caught.
You're coming around, right? You're flanking, and you're sneaking up.
I'm next to him.
Yusuf is
Who
flanking.
of the two of you who's going first to kind of go around the tree?
I'd assume him.
I'll go
'cause
first.
He's got.
Okay, so you're going first. As you're going, you hear another sound of like a branch cracking.
Who is
It
it?
seems to
from
be
me or
like
from-
in the direction of the person behind the tree.
Do I see anybody else in front of me? Do I just see?
You
the-
don't. You look around, you don't see anyone else.
I think it might be a trap.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to tap on him and pull my short sword and flank farther when he goes to check the tree in case there's a trap and I can help him out.
Can I check for traps?
Make a perception plus stealth roll.
4.
Okay. You're looking around, and all of a sudden, what looked like just like a normal kind of vine on the ground, it pulls taut and it starts to encircle your ankle.
I jump out.
Okay.
Out of the.
You're going to make a roll, and I'm going to make a roll. And that roll that you're going to make is an agility roll. Go ahead.
3.
You lose.
Hey,
Your ankle is
expected that.
snared, and you start getting pulled up into the tree. As this sound happens, you see what looked like a vine on the ground wraps around his ankle. It snares him, and it starts to pull him up into the tree. And you see, and now hear more wood cracking. You see a large, like, wooden barrel with rope tied around it falling down the other side of this branch as he's getting pulled up.
Can I grab my short sword and cut the vine?
You can in just a moment. You guys hear and see this as you see Cristofaris get yanked up into, like, up into the air, and this barrel kind of counterweight
Thieves.
pulling down to the ground, crashing down. What do you do?
How hard of a shot would it be to try to shoot
me down.
You're gonna
try to
shoot the vine and
It's
just
a
break it.
called shot. You want to shoot the rope so he can get down?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a called shot of moderate difficulty. So go ahead and make your precision plus archery roll.
It's all 6. You better not lose this.
4. 10.
You're gonna need a 12 or
13.
higher.
13.
Okay,
Oh my God.
so you
you,
see this
Matthew.
happening. You fire. You are like upside down. You're trying to like reach your sword and like get your bearings, and then all of a sudden the rope goes like ping, and you're like ha, and you fall down about 10 feet and like land in the mulch. You take 1 health. You
My bad.
hear from the other side of the road, not where they are, the other side of the road. You hear, "Put down your weapons, or you're gonna regret it. We've got you surrounded."
No balls.
I call bluff.
What do? You see, like Yusuf hasn't drawn his weapon, and he kind of like looks over in that direction, and then he's kind of looking all around as if he's trying to spot where that came from.
Ooh.
But he failed.
Oh, that's great for me.
Go investigate.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, because the end.
I'm gonna do the horror movie thing and just walk over. Yeah. Yeah, sure,
so
Angus.
upfront.
Do you move?
Yes.
I move.
Okay. Do you have, what are you wearing? I know your armor, but do you have a shield? Do you have a backpack?
I have no shield, no backpack. I have bone dice. But no, I don't have anything else.
That is not sufficient. The moment that you move, you are hit by an arrow.
Yep.
You're going to take 7 health.
Oh my
No
God.
soak?
What's your armor?
Plate, right?
Plate and chain.
What's your soak?
6.
Okay, so you're gonna take your durability is going to go down by half of that. So your durability is going to go down.
21 to.
No, so your durability is going to go down by 3, and you soak the 6, so you're actually only going to take 1 health. You get hit, like the minute you turned it to move, you hear like poing and like an arrow shot. You get hit in the shoulder. Fortunately for you, you've upgraded your armor recently. You hear another voice from that same direction. Told you we've got you surrounded. Put your weapons down or your friends are gonna die next. We only want a little tax, just some coin, and we'll let you pass.
Matthew, don't worry. I'm better. I'll be fine.
You
Who has the most
notice
money
that
here?
it's the same voice that's said this.
Okay.
Just one person.
I don't see where they are.
I'll let you make another perception roll.
Just straight.
Straight.
5.
Add in your stealth dice. So 5,
Oh.
and then
Oh,
roll
what's
for your
stealth?
stealth dice.
10 total.
Okay, so you look off in the direction from whence the arrow came and shot Ulfjun, and you see like the top of a bow from behind a tree, like as if the guy is hiding behind a tree.
Okay.
Snipe him.
I'll try to shoot him. I think from here.
You can't see him.
You have to bait
Okay.
him out.
You could see his bow.
Shoot through the tree.
Smash cut to the other side of the forest. You've landed on your back. You lost. You took. You're feeling a little bruised. You see on where you saw that guy hiding behind the tree. Still no movement. You could just see like his foot, like his boot, and part of his leg, but you don't see any movement.
I'm gonna run up with my short sword drawn.
Okay, but as you come
Watch
around
my
the
feet.
corner, you're like, ha! And what you see is a scarecrow. You basically see like a bunch of twigs and like stuffed into clothing,
So much.
and that's what you guys were walking towards.
What made the sound then?
But I'm not going to reveal that to you. You
Okay, I look
have
up
to
in the
figure that out.
trees. I look up and try to perceive.
Make a
what's in the
perception plus stealth roll.
They're in the trees.
I would also accept perception plus repair.
trees. 13.
Oh, that would have been so great.
Okay,
for me.
that's more than sufficient. So you're like looking at this scarecrow and you're like, what the hell? And you see like a series of like small, not even like rope, but like twine, like hemp twine. You see like a bunch of hemp twine hooked up to like different smaller trees and in the area, like, and then looped around them to different places. And then they go from that up into branches in one of the smaller trees. And you notice like when the wind blows a little bit, it like pulls on the twine and you see like the scarecrow like move a little bit.
Does the scarecrow have a hat?
Yes.
I take the hat.
Okay, it's
Oh
just
my
a
God.
crappy like farmer hat.
Cool.
Okay.
What a great use of
What
your
are you
time.
doing?
I get up and I start cautiously moving back toward the group. Actually, wait, hold on. So you said we're on a path, and then you have like.
So pretend here's the path.
Yes.
You and Marex went to the right side of the path. That's
Gotcha.
the scarecrow side. They're on the path, but on the left of the path, somebody shot him.
Probably go find the dude and shot him.
Yeah, let's say
We should try to like recruit him.
Javelin your short sword.
I go
Right.
over and I start making my way back toward them, and I try to find the guy that shot them.
Okay, so you're going around.
Yes.
Make an agility and stealth roll.
I should put more into agility. 5.
Okay, you're moving quietly, and then you're like, and you step on a stick, and you're like, damn it. But you're trying to slowly go around in stealth. Back to you guys. After you got hit with the arrow, Yusuf puts his hands up, and he says, "Come, there is no need for violence. We can give you coin. You may pass, please. If you do not believe me, you can check my pouch. I have ample coin for you. We simply wish to go to the river." Good job, Yusuf. You hear the voice say, set down a pouch of silver and walk 50 paces up the road. Don't try anything funny, or we'll snipe you down just like we hit him, the big one.
That's in longbow range.
Yusuf says, very well. And you see he reaches down and he carefully unties one of the pouches. And he shakes it, and you guys hear coins in it. And he sets it down on the ground. And then with his hands up, he starts walking forward. What do you do? What do you do?
Where was I shot?
In the shoulder.
Okay. Then I just
Like
followed.
it barely penetrated the chain and the plate, like kind of a little
Okay.
bit in between.
I'll just yank it out and then follow Yusuf.
Okay.
I'll follow them and kind of keep my bow ready-ish.
Okay.
Probably won't be happy with you having a loaded weapon.
What do you do?
Am I still in the clearing by the scarecrow?
Yes?
You gonna take
I'm going to go into, I'm assuming I see this whole interaction on the road, or no?
You see them moving. You heard Yusuf say that, and you saw him set down a pouch of coins on
Yeah.
the road.
I'm going to go the same way they're going, but parallel
Okay.
through the forest,
Okay.
quietly, preferably. So
And you're going around still.
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't know.
You get to the road. Now you've gone kind of
I'll go
around,
around.
George. You've gone kind of around, like doubling back basically. And now the only way to get to the other side would be to cross the open road. How are you doing that move?
Idea.
Like belly crawl,
can I-
run, sneak.
Can I hide in the bushes by where he left the pouch?
Yes, you could. Maybe I would say about 20 feet back.
Yeah.
There's a
like
clump of
little bit,
bushes, so
yeah.
you kind of hide. All right, so give me a agility and stealth.
5.
Okay. So you kind of duck down, hide. You're moving forward. You're moving forward. You're moving forward. Yusuf moves forward. So you guys walk, and you get about 50 paces, and you hear the voice say, "Where's your other friends? The other two? Tell them to get back on the road, or someone's gonna get shot."
am I close by?
You're 30 feet into the woods.
You're parallel to them, but you're not on the road.
I mean, what if you just lie to him and say that?
I call out and I say, he's stuck in the trap. We couldn't get him down.
It's time for social manipulation. All right, I'll say willpower plus social manipulation.
Wait, okay, he's good at this.
If you fail this,
Oh, not
You
bad.
more than succeed.
11.
He's like, you hear him say, "Fine, we'll let him go after you guys move up, but get back on the road."
Very well. And then I go back to the road
Okay.
with my hands up and
All right.
the hat on my head.
Because you gotta have that.
Yeah, of course.
George, make a perception plus stealth roll.
you and your stealth, man.
5.
You and your stealth
Okay.
vibes.
Yeah, stealth 5 of those movements.
Are you guys looking back in the direction of where the encounter happened and where the pouch of coins is, or are you looking forward?
I'm looking.
Convincing. Make it convincing.
What?
I said make it convincing.
Make what convincing?
Forward or back? I need to know right now. Forward or back? You. I'm looking at you. Forward or back? Are you looking back at the pouch?
I'm looking back.
Are you looking
I'll
back
look
at the
forward.
pouch? Are you looking back at the pouch?
No.
Are you, okay, great. Make a perception plus stealth roll.
What do you mean? Oh no. I got one more.
Okay.
9.
Roll reg.
So here's what you see. Again, like you're, a good 50 feet up. You see what looks like a rope, like with a lasso at the end, go out from the bushes on the side where the guy shot you from. And you see it pull and it cinches around the pouch, and it starts dragging it back towards the bushes on that side. You also see this.
I stay hidden.
Okay.
Wait, question. How close is my position to the position of where the trap was?
Like 25 feet.
So I can see that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And am I also hidden from that position?
Maybe. A moment later, you hear a voice yell out, "You may pass. Your tax will be gladly accepted by the highwaymen."
What do we want to do?
Are we just going to ignore the fact that I'm tied up?
Yeah.
All right, I call out, what about our friend?
Yeah.
You can go back and get him now. We won't shoot you.
My friend, I am a holy man.
Oh my god.
Go for it.
I do not care for bloodshed, and I would not like to make this
I do.
situation very bloody.
Please tell me you're going to sack.
We have paid you coin. We have paid our dues. All we ask is that you cut down our friend without cutting him and let us on our way. Please.
Make a willpower plus social manipulation roll.
7.
7.
All right, fine.
Coming back
Wow.
your way.
Okay, so a moment later, you see a man run full speed, dead ass sprinting as fast as he can from the left side to the right side.
Is he heading toward me?
Is it
He's
you?
heading towards where you were. He's heading towards
Okay, hold on.
towards the snare.
So let's say like the snare is right here.
Yeah.
Where am I?
So let's say this is the road,
Yes.
right? Here's the snare, here's you.
Gotcha.
He's crossing the road towards the snare.
Gotcha.
So you could see him. You could see him crossing the road, and you could see him heading towards that
Catch him
snare.
alive.
and it's just him.
That's all you see. And by the looks of it, he looks like, I'll describe him. He looks like a very scrawny, like thin and dirty looking person with like matted, dirty, greasy hair and like a stubble as if he hasn't
I run
shaved
up and
in a
punch
long
him.
time.
Yeah.
And all of his clothes are also dirty and covered in like grass and dirt.
My prediction is that this entire operation is just him in one tree pulling like 8,000 strings.
Yeah.
He looks
I doubt-
about the same age as you.
There's
I run up from behind him and I punch him.
Okay.
Wait, actually, sorry. I take out his legs with a sweep kick, like and just
a called shot.
Why wouldn't you just grab
I'm
him?
going to say that we're going to make a
what precision? I'm assuming.
well, no, you're going to do a
Animal
hand-to-hand
handling.
combat.
Oh yeah,
right?
well hand to hand, yeah.
So make an agility plus
Hand-to-hand?
hand-to-hand.
6, 7.
So you jump out, and you basically go to intercept him, and you go to sweep. He jumps over your leg and keeps running in the direction of where the snare is.
I sprint after him.
Okay, time to make a
Chasing.
quick check. What is your current agility?
1.
God.
All right, roll a straight agility.
This is why you do
plus
cardio
F-
at the gym.
Let's see.
What's up? What, like endurance?
No, athletics.
Oh, okay.
What do you have for athletics?
2.
Okay, roll your agility plus athletics. This is a chase. He's going to roll his
Ooh,
agility
8,
plus
9.
athletics.
God dang.
6, 8, 9. Ooh.
Did you tie?
So he's staying ahead of you just slightly. He's like 20 feet ahead of you. And you see that he passes by the snare where you were, and he just keeps running, like further into the forest.
I keep going. I'm not gonna get robbed like that, man.
You guys hear like, and like something happening,
You could have
but
grabbed the
now
bag
they
and
are
come
out of
back.
your sight.
No, he still has it.
What do you do?
Assuming. Wait here. Why don't you guys go see if he left the bag open?
You can't communicate with us.
Oh,
Yeah.
my fault.
You're running. What do you guys do? You're 50 feet away. You saw the guy run across, and then a moment later you hear like the sounds of like sticks cracking and like clear movement, like no one's trying to be stealthy.
Since I'm facing the area where he would be, did I see him grab the bag, or did he just keep running?
No,
He pulled it in
I
with
told
the
you
rope.
he snared it before
Okay.
he even ran across the road.
I'm going to assume that he has the bag probably
Okay,
because
yeah, obvious.
he wouldn't just like leave the money.
I forgot
So,
that detail. So
Yeah, I mean, I think we just let George have his chase scene.
Yeah.
I'm going to go head back and see if he left anything else
Yeah,
on the opposite
I'm gonna,
side.
I'm gonna go with you.
Maybe if there's like a small, hideout that he has, but otherwise, I assume he has the money.
yeah, well, yeah, that actually is smart.
Okay, so you two are going back to where you thought he was from. Are you staying on the road with Yusuf?
I'm staying with Yusuf.
Okay, all right, and you're racing.
I'm chasing him. Yeah.
Okay, so you roll me another agility plus athletics roll.
3, 5, or 6.
4, 7, 9. All right, he starts to break away from you and get ahead of you. He's still running, kind of darting in between trees, trying to break away. All right, last roll.
This is why you do cardio at the gym, George.
Okay, you know what? I do cardio at the gym. 6, 7.
9, 12.
What?
How many dice do you have?
3.
He only has 4, so he only has one more die than you. You see that at a certain point, you see like there's a little bit of a clearing and a small creek. He literally just does like running long jump and jumps the creek and gets to the other side and keeps running. You want to try that?
You might have lost him.
Let's give it a try. I'm feeling adventurous today. I'm sorry, you lost me and Matthew money, so I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You got that money
It's
back.
agility plus athletics.
6, 8.
You make it. Oh. You get to the other side. It's kind of muddy. He is now like a good 40 feet ahead of you.
Keep going.
Okay.
And this is
Smash
how we
cut
lose
back to
George
you.
in the forest.
You
I don't wanna hear anything.
two are in and on the other side of the forest, right? You start crossing over to where you thought he was. Give me a perception plus survival check
That's
2 and
3, right? Survival? Yeah.
to see if
3
you
so
could
far.
kind of backtrack his location.
13.
Oh yeah, you're like, you look around briefly, you're like there, and you follow the tracks back about 20 feet to behind a tree where you saw the bow. You get there and you notice that there's a length of rather crappy rope, but the pouch is not in that length of rather crappy rope.
Is there anything else? Can I look around?
You see that there are 4 arrows that also look rather poorly made, and a shoddy short bow, like homemade short bow. You don't see anything else.
Okay.
do I do anything?
I think
Do you see anything or do you do anything? I mean, what are you doing? Describe what you're
I'll do
doing.
make small talk with with Yusuf.
Okay, what do you say? He's like just, you notice he's just like looking in all directions, up, down, left, right.
Yeah. I asked him, so you follow the god Sirakoku?
I venerate many of the gods, but if you are asking why I went to the White Tower, it was for knowledge. They are keepers of sometimes knowledge which has been forgotten. And it was for this reason that I sought their wisdom concerning my family heirloom.
it's a family. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask what your family heirloom is exactly?
You may.
What is it?
It is a sword that was crafted for one of my ancestors. Very long time ago. Very, very long time ago. I believe, after my many travels and inquiries, that I have found the location of his last battle. It is my hope that perhaps he and the other soldiers were buried at this battlefield, that I may find his grave and find this sword which was made to return to my family.
May I also ask what knowledge you were looking for within the temple of Sirakoku? I know he is not only is he the god of knowledge, he is also the god of magic. And I was wondering if those were intertwined with your reasoning for going to the White Tower.
Make a social manipulation roll.
All right. Five.
He says, yes, it is known that the priests of Savak Boku are very learned, very wise, and oftentimes they study things which have been forgotten by others. Where I come from in the Southlands, it is not so much forbidden as it is here to know the secrets of the gods. How you would say magic. But it is still guarded, these secrets. They are not taught to anyone, for it is a power, a gift from the gods, to be sure, to know such knowledge. And it must be attended to with great, deep respect. He looks at you and he says, you seek this knowledge?
A little bit, yes. Right now, I am looking into the medicinal side of magic, as my crew and I go on many adventures, go on many part-time jobs, helping people just like you finding their heirlooms. Just last week, we helped a man named Vitos find a family heirloom of his within the sewers of the town we were just in. And just back then and just like now, people get hurt. And one of these days, I won't have a first aid kit, and neither will anyone else. To me, it seems as the only way to make sure that no one in my party gets hurt.
Yes. The magic of the body. You speak of this.
Corporeal.
He says it can be known and learned, but more than just the healing of the body is the control of the body. To understand the control of the body, to make changes, to enhance the physical. He says these things can be learned, but they require discipline, study, and respect for the gifts of the gods. He says, perhaps when we return to your port city, I can guide you to one who may teach you of these things, if it is your desire. But know that it is not an easy road. It will require patience and dedication. For once you have learned of the body, you must then harness the power of the mind. And to bring these together, you must also harness the power of the spirit. These three things are central to the understanding of Savak Boku. He says, I have studied all of these things throughout my entire life, and I am by no means a master of any of them. But I am, how you would say, adept enough. He says, your friends are taking a long time. You know why they have chosen to pursue this poor man who wished to rob us? Is it in some effort to recover the coins that I gave?
I do not think it is purely for the coins, no. I think it is their way of justifying the wrongdoings that they have done towards them.
I see. A matter of honor, then.
Yes.
I will not interfere. If it is their desire to do so, I will wait here with you. Smash cut. You two are by the tree. You found a short bow of poor quality and 4 arrows. And a poor quality rope.
I take none of it.
Is it hemp rope?
It is. It is poor quality. Like, it basically looks like he took like leftover lengths of rope and tried to like re-knot them in order to make like a sufficient rope. He is far ahead of you now. He's 40 feet ahead.
Can I still
And he
see it?
yells back and he says, "It's not worth it. Just go back to your friends."
No.
Roll.
Maybe this is the DM trying to tell you.
7, 9.
9. Tie. You'd neither catch up or lose any ground.
Oh my God.
He says, "I can outrun you."
3, 7.
Play the Benny Hill theme song.
Oh, 6. You start to gain on him. You gain 10 feet. He's only 30 feet ahead now.
Only.
Hold on 1 second. What's your endurance?
2.
Okay, you're fine. He says, "You're too bulky and large to follow me this far. I know my way around."
If
And
you
he
call me
turns.
that?
6.
7.
8.
Wait, no, that's
9.
7.
He gains 20 feet on you.
When you
He
finally
says, "Just give up."
when you finally kill him, he's just gonna be like, "I was only trying to
6,
save you."
7.
11.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is.
Yeah. This is what we call.
Do you stop and go back?
How many?
You're like 200 yards away. Like, you've been following him for like a long time.
How many feet away from me is he?
He's like 90 feet away.
Yeah, okay,
Stops
fine,
and
fine.
rethinks
I'll
his
do
life.
that.
And just decides.
I'm sorry. Are we going to ignore the
Angus,
fact
you're not
that-
there. Shut up.
I'm sorry, we didn't ignore the fact last time you got knocked out by a sailor?
That's different though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go back.
Okay.
This is why you do cardio.
A few minutes later, Cristofaris returns. There's like twigs and leaves like in his hair and stuck into his armor, but he returns.
I tried.
You guys are all back on the road. You see Yusuf like nods to you when you approach. He says, "So we continue to the river then, yes?"
Aye.
Very well. He gestures to the road. You guys resume your marching order, right?
If you see him again, can I stab him?
No.
You continue to travel, and you travel for another 2 hours until you finally kind of come out of this forested area to a huge open meadow, like tall grass, kind of a little bit of rolling hills, and no farms in sight, and no road.
I turn to Yusuf and I ask him if there are any landmarks or, places that we might associate this battlefield or this, this significant place with.
He says, "Yes, but it is across the river. We have not yet crossed the river."
That's one.
He says, "There are landmarks, and I have a crude map that we must follow." He says, "I assume we are to continue walking this way towards the river?" Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you guys begin crossing through the grasslands. You make another perception plus survival roll.
Another bandit.
I'll beat him up.
You won't even reach him.
Oh, I
11.
I will.
Okay, you are easily like, based on the airspeed velocity and the current barometric pressure, we should go in this direction towards the river. And sure enough, after another hour of walking through the tall grass and the prairie, you guys actually come to the east bend of the river. You kind of walk, and then you see that like the ground starts to slope down a little bit, and you find yourself on like I don't want to say a cliff, because it's not like a dramatic, like massive 100-foot, Grand Canyon thing. But it's probably 30 feet down, right? You end on this like kind of rocky embankment, and about 30 feet down, you see the river. The river is 200 yards across.
Oh.
It is wide.
Do we know how deep it is?
You feel like it's deep. Like people drive ships through it deep.
I look in either direction to spot any ships if there are any.
No ships.
Any
No bridges.
piers.
No
Any
docks.
houses.
How
No.
tall?
No houses.
Are there trees nearby?
Sure.
How
Not
tall are they?
knocking down a tree.
30 feet.
Okay. We just need
No, I'm
7
sorry.
trees.
They're 200 yards tall. You don't see any civilization in this area that you're in.
I again turn to Yusuf and I ask, at the White Tower, were there any priests, clerics? Were there any men?
He reaches into his backpack and pulls out a map, and he looks at it and he says,
Cool.
we must cross the river.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for that.
He's like, perhaps if we walk to the south, we will find some means of crossing. Yes.
I'm gonna roll.
You can roll several options. I will give you. Do you have history?
I have history.
Okay, go ahead.
Just
Make
history.
a perception plus history.
10.
Okay. You're like, I think I remember like there being small, like not fishing villages, but like small, like, you know, fishing hamlets and camps and stuff
Wharfs.
along the river. And you're certain that if you just like follow the river south, that eventually you'll stumble across something. Sure. Right? So here's the question. Do you guys stay like above the river, like on the land, like above? Or do you want to climb down and walk along the river? Because there's probably like 100 feet of like rocky, I don't want to say beach, but you know what I mean? Like rocky ground that like is along the river. Or do you want to stay up high and walk along the river?
Which way is the river flowing?
It flows south. So it's actually going,
Stay up high.
I don't think it's.
it's actually, the river actually goes kind of southeast,
Okay.
which is why it's the east bend of the river.
Stay up high. It's just in case something happens to the river. Also, we don't want to have somebody like come from up there and have that much of an advantage on us.
Also floods.
There could also be,
ships,
like-
also
A little gremlin hiding in the little rock.
Exactly, yeah.
anything could happen.
Yes.
Yes, I agree with Cristofaris. I tell the party that we should stay up on the embankment and
High and-
follow the river south.
High and dry.
Okay. You guys walk for 2 more hours. It is now mid-afternoon, like 3 in the afternoon. And as you finally walked, you come to what you see up ahead is like, they're like a clutch of like 3 little cottages that are kind of like just in from the cliff, like not right on it, but like in from the cliff. And you see that like, you know, the land around it has like little gardens, not like a huge farm, but it looks like, you know, a few plots of produce being grown. And you see down at the water level is like wooden stairs that go down to like a pair of docks and a couple small fishing boats that are like docked. And you see some people like milling about. Now it's midday, so the boats are docked, but you see some people kind of milling about.
I approach the one of the people,
Okay.
and I greet them.
All right, so yeah, as you're approaching this little like fishing hamlet, basically, you see like one of the men looks like kind of like a middle-aged man, sort of like bald on the top, and he's just wearing kind of very common clothes. He sees you and all of you, and he says, "Hello, what business do you have here?"
None that would mean harm to you. We merely wish to cross the river, but we have no boat.
Social manipulation plus willpower.
It's always angry.
Actually, I have this boat in my garage.
'Cause I'm
but
the
I'll
only one
give
who
it
wants
to you
to
if you have
talk.
5 social manipulation.
9.
He says, "Oh, just crossing then. Well, if you have some coin, I could take you across."
Aye, of course.
How much?
Well, it sure wouldn't be bad to have maybe 5 silver each, if that's okay with you.
So 25 silver.
Yes, I don't really like going across the river at night, and it's going to be dark soon, so we should go if we're going to go.
I give him 30 silver.
Why not just ask you?
Why would you do?
Because, again, no one else is doing it.
Stop.
Hold on.
Please. Stop.
Yusuf, like puts up a hand.
Yeah.
Please stop.
He says,
It's
he
in my
says,
church.
we can pay this. If you take us now, yes. And the man's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Yusuf reaches into another pouch and counts out 25 silver pieces and hands it to the man. The man says, thank you. Please come this way. Watch your step. The stairs are a little slippery. I really need to get in there and repair the 5th stair from the bottom. It's kind of rotted out, but just step over that one and we'll take my boat right now. You see like a a woman kind of like peek out from the window of the cottage, and he says, "Just taking some folks across the river. I'll be back by supper." And she kind of like looks
Guys,
warily.
don't kill him.
Aww.
He has a family.
So?
He says, my name is Ferd. Please, step aboard." And you walk down the docks. They're rather rickety. You guys step onto the fishing boat. He unties the thick hemp rope. And you see he grabs one of the oars and kind of pushes the boat off of the dock. And it starts to float out, and then he pops the sail. Before too long, you guys are making your way steadily down and across the river.
While we're on the boat, I prayed to Shias Joel for safe guidance across the river.
Okay.
Being that
Leaf
it is,
Springs.
Being that it is a body of water.
No, make
He suddenly hears waves.
okay,
in
guys,
his head.
make a willpower plus religion roll.
Sure.
Are you gonna dream of water again tonight?
By the way, for the boat ride back, I have an idea already because we can't reach the guy
Well,
when he's
we're not
at his house.
taking this boat ride, the same boat back.
I know, but like I have a plan for the boat ride back.
What are we gonna? I guess. pray
I'm a
to Shish
carpenter.
Bill?
A master of
12.
woodworking.
All right.
You say this very eloquent prayer, and you notice that as you're saying it, the fisherman's like, "Oh, praise Shias Joel." He says,
That does nothing.
"The water's been good today." He says, my catch will be blessed by your donation as well. My family will be greatly helped. I thank you." And you're about like halfway across, and it's been pretty quiet. Yusuf pulls out his map again, and he's kind of looking at the coastline. Ferd says, "Good folk, may I ask what you seek? Why are you crossing to the east bank of the river? Is it? I don't mean to be intrusive, but you don't seem like locals, and it's not often that I get people coming through this way."
We are going to visit an old battlefield to search for another.
I see. He's like, you'd be wise to be cautious at night, friends. Very cautious. It's a wild land across that side. Who knows what sorts of creatures you'd encounter at night, not to mention the primitive folk that dwell in the foothills. It's a dangerous place.
The bird and lizard people.
What are these folk like?
He says, "Well, I've heard many things, good sir, to be certain. I've heard of trolls and giants. I've heard of lowly, sinful men, bandits and such, who make their hideouts there to avoid the good kingdom of Imvice. But I've also heard of the primitive people, the Ordur, who dwell on that side, closer to the foothills." He's like, who's to say? Strange things abound. Rumors are told often amongst fishing camps, but I myself haven't seen anything, though I will admit, in the few times that I've deboarded from my boat on that side of the river, I have not stayed long, and certainly not at night. I wish you blessings. May the gods watch over you. And about a half an hour later, you guys get to the other side of the river. He kind of brings his boat in as close as he can. You see he kind of like steers it in a certain way that he can kind of turn it and bring it in to a little bit of like a shallow. He says, "I'm afraid this is as close as I could get it, friends. Unless one of you could make that jump to the shore and pull the boat a little closer."
He's winded.
Who's the most agile?
I have agility 1
Agility 1.
and
Agility
athletics
2.
1.
Matthew,
And
jump over.
athletics 3.
Is he gonna be strong enough to pull us over?
Strength 1.
Agility and athletics. So all you're going to do basically
Or
is make the jump, and
Yeah.
then he'd toss you the rope. Go ahead and roll agility plus athletics.
5.
14.
You kind of like gauge this. You back up, and then you get a running jump. You jump onto the rail of the fishing boat, and you just leap, and you kind of do like an epic, like Assassin's Creed dive, and you grab onto the edge of the rocks, pull yourself up. Ferd throws you the rope. You kind of grab it and anchor it, and then those of you who don't want to get soaking wet can use the rope to get across.
Yeah.
No rolls necessary as long as you're not in a hurry. And as you guys, the last of you get back, Ferd says, "Blessings to you all." He says, "Oh, if you seek to get back," he says, if you work your way back up the coast, midday, if you have a mirror or something to signal, he's like, "I'll keep an eye out in the next 2 days. By midday, signal, and I can bring my boat to meet you." And he pulls the rope back on. He says, "Be safe. Good luck and good fortune to you." And he pulls the rope back on and begins steering his boat away.
Does anyone have a mirror-like object?
We can light a fire or something when we need to. Okay, so now that we're on the other side,
To be clear, it is now like 4:30.
Yeah.
It's still light out,
okay.
but
I suggest to the party, and especially to Yusuf, that we trek for another 1 or 2 hours and then maybe make camp in a safe place.
okay. So as you guys are on this side of the river now, you see that it's a lot more like rocky land. There are tufts of, tall grass here and there, but it doesn't seem as like lush and fertile in terms of the land. Like it seems to be a bit more rocky. There are also trees, but they're kind of sporadic. And the further away you go from the river, the more like rocky the terrain becomes. You also see, like at the horizon, because it's still light, you see the mountains. So miles away from where you are, you could see the mountains like rising up to the clouds. Like that's on the horizon.
If we can find some sort of like
Shelter.
sheltered area, perhaps a clearing of trees or maybe a cave, I suggest we camp
He
there.
pulls out his map and he says, and he shows it to you. He says, "We must find this," and he points. And you see what looks like an area between the river and close to the foothills, and it looks like a chasm that's been drawn on the map. He says, "We must find this place."
Must we go into the chasm?
He says, "I hope not. But it is possible."
What's a chasm?
Like a ravine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very well.
Start walking.
Yeah. Is it getting dark?
It's not yet. No.
Okay.
So
When it gets dark, I'll pull out a torch. But
make a perception plus survival.
Everyone?
So
No, just
if
that.
you have it, go ahead. But you basically are trying to like kind of figure out where you are.
6.
11.
okay, there we go.
5.
Okay. So you're kind of convinced that like you should be heading a little bit northeast, like maybe you guys had gone further south than you originally planned. So you start heading kind of north and east at the same time. You travel for about an hour, and you're definitely now in the foothills, like where it's a very hilly terrain. There's lots of like rocks, big boulders, that kind of stuff. And then again, you see the mountains just climbing up, like the ground continues to go up. And you notice that you guys are also kind of gradually going up in elevation. As you come down over one of these hilly areas, you see like up ahead, probably like 100 yards, maybe past a couple more of these hills, you see like smoke, like maybe from a campfire.
Uh-oh.
I think it's the Ordur. We don't want to mess with the natives.
Are they
So-
natives or are they bandits?
The Ordur are like the wild people, the natives of.
Do we know it's them?
Well, we just saw smoke.
Okay. It could be
Nonetheless,
bandits.
they're advanced enough.
Nonetheless, we don't want to mess with either
They're
one,
advanced enough
so-
to know fire. They're advanced enough to kill.
Yeah. So I say
Now, if I can
we go generally around, not too far out of the way, while still going north and east. We try to avoid the encampment.
Okay.
Maybe try to go past it by another 100 yards.
Okay. So you're going to go north instead of northeast. You go, you guys continue to walk and you go 100 yards past it. You see it now, the smoke still rising from that one location.
Do we want to investigate it or no? Who here could be
All
the
of you
most-
make perception plus
Oh,
stealth.
okay.
4.
9.
16.
7.
Thought my 9 was good.
You're being watched.
Oh boy.
Let's go.
About 90 feet away, on towards the top of one of the hills. As you're looking back, you see like a cluster of rocks, and you see someone of a humanoid size, presumably like your size. But again, it's kind of hard to tell because it looks like they were just peeking up over the rocks and then they ducked back down.
Not again.
Can I try something?
You don't know this. Silence.
Oh, dang.
Matthew, what do you do?
Probably tell us.
Keep this a secret to yourself. Trust me.
By the way, this whole time, Yusuf has just been very like calm and steadfast, like occasionally looking at the map, but mostly just following along.
I say, my friends, we are being watched. We need to be careful out here.
Watched by who?
I've seen someone in the hills. They seem to be following us.
I don't trust Yusuf.
Yusuf. Do you suppose we should continue, or should we confront them?
Perhaps we should continue to the north. If we are truly being followed, we can arrange some sort of ambush, but not to kill, to find out information. Maybe if this person is local, they would know where to find the chasm.
Does anyone here speak the language of the wild people?
No.
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 I don't
Very
trust
well.
Yusuf. I'm not.
He's more of a holy man than Angus.
Yeah.
Something's off about him.
I suggest to the party that we keep going, like Yusuf said. I whisper to Matthew to keep a vigilant eye, not only on the person following us, but on Yusuf. And I direct Cristofaris, since he's at the head of the party, to pull out a torch, and I suggest that...
It's not dark yet. It's like 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
come on, Angus.
Then, then
I'll say that you have 2 hours of light left.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
excellent.
then we keep moving.
Like you have, how many ranks in nature do you have?
Where's nature? I have
Knowledge.
I have 2.
Yeah.
0.
So you know that you've got a couple hours left.
Sure. All right, we continue then.
All right, you guys continue. You're not stealthing, you're just normal walking, you're not running, right?
I don't...
You walk for another half an hour, and you frequently turn back and check around. It doesn't look like you've been followed. It looks like whoever was watching you must have been doing so at that location, as if maybe on guard duty for whatever was going on over there.
It could have been just a local, like, making sure we leave.
Yusuf pulls out the map, checks it again. And he looks and he points to the mountains. And he says, does this look similar to you? And you notice there's like, on the map, there's like a group of 3 mountains in particular. And he points to the actual mountains, and then he points to the map.
Can we see if they do they look similar to what he's like?
Yes, make a perception and survival.
13.
You feel like the depiction of this
10.
on the map very much matches what you are seeing with your eyes in the mountains several miles to the east.
Yes, we are sure that these mountains are similar.
He says, then we must go in this direction. And soon we will arrive at the chasm.
Can I try something?
Although I agree with you that we should not go to the chasm at nighttime, but we must find it at least or come close to it before we make camp.
Can I roll social manipulation and perception?
What are you trying to social? Always say what you want to do
Okay.
first.
I
Don't
want-
just say like, can I roll?
What Cristofaris suggested is on my mind, and I want to kind of try to pick up on anything that might seem suspicious about Yusuf.
So you're trying to determine his level of sus.
Yeah.
You may roll
It's-
perception plus social manipulation.
Oh.
Oh, that's not bad.
11.
Right?
You are certain that he is more knowledgeable than he's letting on. You are fairly certain that he also perhaps knows more things than he's letting on. However, you are not certain as to the intent of those things, like as to whether he has malicious intent or if he's just a person who knows things and hasn't decided to share them with you guys.
Can I try and do the same thing that Angus?
You can.
Great.
George, I have 2 higher perception than you.
That
I
doesn't
have
matter.
two
Roll.
higher- I have higher-
I'll roll 2.
What's the angle that you're doing this from? Like, what are you trying to suss out?
I'm just trying to see if he has malicious intent toward our party, or
Okay.
if he is actually just trying to get a family heirloom.
Okay.
That'd be 6, 9, 10.
You feel like it's not a malicious thing. Like you feel that it's truthful and genuine that he is searching for this thing, and that it's not a malicious thing with you guys. But you also get that hunch that like this guy knows more than he's letting on. Like
Wizard.
there's something about him
I want.
that you feel goes beyond just what he's obviously appearing as or what his demeanor is.
I would like to also roll for perception and social manipulation, because unlike these guys, I'm the only guy that's actually had a conversation with him, and specifically about magic as something that he wants to
Go ahead.
strive for knowledge on, and he was kind of vague on that. Ooh, that's 5 ones and 4 ones and a 3, so 7.
Oh,
You feel like everything he said to you is genuine.
Okay.
I think he's fine. I think we should just continue and find a camp.
I
Okay.
think I'm skeptical.
You guys start heading east, following
My fault.
roughly where this crude symbolic map leads. You travel again through very rocky, hilly terrain, and at certain points, like you literally have to like stop because you can't like climb up a certain incline, and you have to kind of wind your way around and find your way around. You get around to the point where it's almost nighttime, and you crest this hill. And looking over the hill, I'm assuming that you're leading the way, right?
Yeah.
So you get up to the top of this hill, and you look down, and you see basically like a small canyon. And it looks like it goes about a half mile in each direction. And then it continues, and then into the foothills. But this canyon looks like it drops down like 100 yards. Like it's pretty deep. You feel like this is the chasm that was on his map.
Is it starting to become dark?
It is. It's dusk, so it's like it's evening. Like you figure you've got about a half an hour of sunlight.
I think we should start to prepare a camp.
Let's find somewhere that isn't just out in the open.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another perception plus survival roll. Why are you all rolling? Stop. What'd you get?
13.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Awesome.
You're like, okay, if we go back about 10 minutes this way, I think there's a good spot where I saw like where there's some trees and a few rocks and boulders for shelter. So you lead the group back, and you get to this area. You scout it out. There's no one around. You don't see any tracks of any animals or anything like that. It looks like pretty barren, pretty untraveled area.
Okay.
So you kind of grab this spot. There, like I said, there's a few trees, a lot of rocks, that kind of stuff, a little bit of grass. Yusuf says, yes, this is very suitable. He's like, I think it would be wise to make camp here, not to try to climb into the chasm at nighttime. This would, I feel, be very dangerous. We wait here, make camp.
Yes.
You notice he kind of takes his backpack off, sets his scimitar down, takes his bedroll out and like finds a place, starts throwing rocks out of the way so that he can like lay his bedroll down. What else are you guys doing for your camp?
I'm going to, I'll clear a spot for my bedroll, and I'll set up a fire. And I have a tinderbox. So, what's the okay, yeah, is there wood around to make the fire?
Perception plus survival.
I have a hatchet, so.
It's a forest.
Well, I'm saying dry wood.
Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You gather all the wood that you need.
Okay.
You gather some tinder and some kindling, and you find like some older wood that was like fallen wood that's not completely soaked, and you chop that up a little bit. In short order, nighttime comes. You guys have a fire. What do you have for food and rations and water?
I have a full water skin, 5 days of rations,
Okay.
and a mess kit.
Everybody minus off 1 day of rations. If you don't have rations, somebody else is going to have to ration for you. You have traveled for a day and used a day of rations.
Hey, George, what health are you at?
I'm going to pass around a bottle
19.
of ale as well.
Okay.
And then I take my prayer beads and I kneel down on my
Minus
roll.
off the bottle of ale. Everybody enjoys a little bit of ale.
There's no way this guy just said, "Hey, I'm gonna get drunk with everybody, and then I'm gonna."
I'm
pray
not
to God."
drunk.
Do we all
Just
still have
one
our bottle of ale that we didn't drink?
Yusuf says, I would like to sleep. I trust that each one of you will take some sort of watch.
I suggest that 3 of us sleep and 3 of us stay awake, and then we shift.
That's the 6.
No, Yusuf included, dude.
That's
6.
That's
3 and
5.
He says, let me make myself clear. I pay you for this job, yes? I will sleep. You will figure out watch. I will sleep.
Even with Yusuf, that's still
If
5.
is very dangerous situation, wake me, please. And he takes off his breastplate after like 2 minutes and then sets it down next to his scimitar, next to his bedroll, and he gets into his bedroll.
This dude wants to sleep, so
Should we?
Who
I'll
gets
take-
first watch?
I'll take second watch.
I'll take first watch.
Okay, you're on first watch. All the rest of you are sleeping.
cool.
Roll 2d4 and tell me what the number is. Not you, him. He's on first watch.
I'll move my dice around.
Don't even touch your. Don't even look at your dice.
Get out of the room.
Go.
How dare you?
6.
6. Okay. The first watch goes
does.
uneventfully.
Let's go.
You wake up, Jan.
Yeah.
Roll
Yeah.
2d4 and tell me what the result is.
Sorry, George.
4 watches.
3.
God.
The second watch goes uneventfully. You go to sleep and you wake up, Marex. Roll 2d4 and tell me what the result is.
4.
The third watch goes uneventfully. You go back to sleep.
George?
Last watch.
You're going to get 2 1s.
6.
Oh. All right, so you've slept, you slept, but on your watch, it's still dark, like the last couple hours before morning. So I'm gonna say it's like 4 in the morning, okay?
That's not Yusuf, you know.
First of all, you see like everybody in their bedrolls because it got cold overnight, right? And so you're like, oh, and you grab some more fire, some more wood, you kind of feed the fire to get it going. It feels a little bit warmer. But then you're like, man, it's cold and we're out of firewood. So you go grab some kindling, you feed the fire a little bit more, and you're sitting there. Make a perception plus stealth roll.
George, why don't you just roll?
Silence, you're sleeping.
6.
Okay. You feed the fire, and you know the dry wood kind of crackles a little bit, and then you hear like another crackle, but it didn't come from the fire. It comes from like somewhere behind you.
I'll turn around.
Okay, you turn around and you see someone moving, and it looks like you can't quite tell because it's dark. And you're by the fire, and whatever's moving is coming like over the hill, and it looks like either like someone carrying something, or maybe 2 people moving towards you.
Is he close enough for me to like kick him awake?
Yes.
I kick him awake.
Cool.
Okay, you're kicked awake. Now what?
What's going on?
I see either one or two guys out in the forest carrying something around.
There's no forest.
Or
It's rocks and hills.
Out in the rocks and hills.
Are you sure it wasn't an animal like a bear?
Yes, I'm sure.
It was 2 people.
It was 1 or 2 people. I couldn't tell.
All right. I'll wake the others. Go ahead and check.
I very slowly approached the direction of where they were.
Stealth
Just stealth?
and agility.
Okay. Not much better.
One more dice.
6.
You start stealthing
Better
out.
than 2.
As you kind of crawl, like kind of stooped over, you're kind of crawling out away from the fire. Your eyes adjust to the night and like the moonlight, and you see whatever was moving stopped moving and is just kind of hunched up by a boulder. So it looks like you could still barely see because it's nighttime, but it kind of looks like someone's sitting by a boulder, like about 40 feet away from you.
Do I call out to them?
Bro's just like me.
Do you know the language of the wild people? Do you think?
What do you do?
I'm going to wake up Yusuf.
Why are you waking up?
You're gonna wake up Yusuf and not them?
Don't wake up Yusuf. Don't wake up Yusuf.
I'll
Don't
wake
wake
up
him up.
Yusuf.
It's not dangerous. Yeah.
Okay.
Jan or Ulfjun?
You wake up them?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys get awoken. How do you role play?
Okay, fine. You two. Cristofaris saw 1 or 2 people watching us, hiding. He's going to check. I need you to watch the camp. Protect Yusuf. Only wake him if it's dangerous. Come with me.
Probably just saw something from his exhaustion.
No. You can never be too sure.
Okay. I want you to remember that when you sleep, you aren't wearing armor.
Oh, that's important.
So
I grab
you don't
my-
have armor. You don't have
my
armor.
armor's on, right?
Your armor's on because you were on watch.
Yeah.
I grab my padded armor and
Yes.
I put on a cloak to conceal myself.
Putting your padded armor on is going to take 3 rounds. What are you putting
I'm
on?
gonna put on leather.
Putting your leather armor on is going to take 5 rounds. You're sleeping.
I'm still asleep.
Are you?
No,
Oh, no,
I'm
you're
awake.
awake.
I told him to watch the camp.
Oh, this will be good. Are you putting your armor on?
Probably should.
Could I put like half of it on?
Yes. That'll take you 10 rounds to put your chain on.
How much is it?
I think
Just
I'm.
put your plate, or don't.
No, that's gonna be longer.
Okay, then just don't put armor.
I'm gonna go commando.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
That's okay. Yeah, well,
Just be ready to wake up.
Someone's gonna die.
I basically
So-
tell him to go near Yusuf and be ready to
Yeah.
wake him.
I bodyguard you.
Okay. All right. So you start putting your padded armor on. You put your leather armor on. Some time goes by. You stopped crawling forward when you saw the person hunched
Do I
over
still
by
see
the
him there?
boulder.
Is he still sitting there?
Yes, and
How far
whatever
away-
that
how far away am I?
blob of shape is in the night hasn't moved since you saw it.
How far away is he?
Like 40 feet,
And as far as I'm aware, he has not seen me yet.
as far as you're aware.
Just watch him. Just wait.
I guess I sit there and I watch him. Do nothing.
You don't move?
Nope.
Okay. You don't move, he doesn't move. 2 minutes later, you guys have armor on.
Okay.
Man, I should have just put my armor on.
Not
I'm
too late.
going to go and start stealthing around with the camp, the perimeter of it, checking. I tell,
Okay.
what is your name?
Jan.
Jan. I tell Jan to go ahead and help out Cristofaris, but be as careful and as quiet as possible.
Okay, so you're gonna do a perimeter.
I take a torch and I do
So
a
you
perimeter.
take a, okay, so
So I have
you
my
grab
longsword
a
and I
piece
have
of
a
wood
torch.
from the fire as a torch. You start going around with your longsword. Are you trying to be stealthy? Because you're carrying a torch.
No, I'm just trying to.
Okay, so then just roll perception plus stealth. You're looking for things that are hidden, right?
Is your scrounging better?
I don't have good scrounging.
Never mind.
12. 15.
Okay, I'll get to you in a second. You start making a perimeter walk with the torch. What are you doing?
I'm gonna climb up on a boulder kind of near Cristofaris.
Are you trying to do that in a stealthy fashion?
Yeah.
Okay, Go ahead and make an agility plus stealth check.
If it's a native and we can capture them, that would be pretty valuable.
Don't.
What's wrong?
There's nothing wrong with me. Yusuf said earlier that we should try to capture someone.
Okay,
if they
you
attack us.
successfully sneak up.
It's not messed up.
You successfully sneak up to where Cristofaris is. You like barely hear Jan sneak up, and you see him like next to you, kind of like up on a boulder. It is extremely dark. You have some moonlight, but there's also cloud cover, so you're limited visibility. You're just looking at shapes in darkness, like silhouettes in darkness.
What time is it?
It's maybe like 4:30 in the morning.
You pull out your watch and check.
So the two of you are there. Make a perception plus stealth roll.
Me and Matthew? Or me and-
Yeah.
Three.
All right. So you know where this thing
15.
is. He doesn't know.
15.
I point out to him where he
Okay,
is.
so Cristofaris like points and is like, there. And you're looking out in the darkness and your eyes are adjusting. And like, how do you just point or do you tell him what you see?
I kind of point like, I see one over there.
All right. So he points, he's like, I see one over there. And you see, like, kind of towards the top of a hill about 40 feet away, you see what looks initially like a boulder and maybe somebody crouching next to the boulder. What'd you get, a 15?
Yes.
15.
You're like, it doesn't seem right. You're like blinking and trying to get a clearer view. You come around the end and you have a torch. The torch doesn't radiate like light
Gotta wake up in the
for 60 feet. It's a moderate amount of light. You come around, you don't see anything. Now, do you continue to go around to where they were, or do you go back to where he and Yusuf are?
I'm just going to keep circling the camp and investigating the immediate area around our fire.
Okay. You had a 15, right?
15.
You look a lot closer, and you're like, that's no boulder. And as you guys are looking, you hear from like 30 feet away, you hear Marex like walking, and you see him holding a torch looking.
There was already a fire.
There was already a fire. You could see the fire much bigger than you can a torch.
Yes, but you were bringing the torch closer.
Okay.
And so that put the we're getting closer to
I
it.
guess I'll
Giant literally already knows who we are.
I guess I'll ready an arrow.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to gesture over to Ulfjun and say,
Okay.
Okay.
Then I wake up Yusuf.
Okay. Yusuf looks up and he's like, it is not yet morning. Is there some danger?
Yes.
What is it?
and I gesture over.
There's a big thing that we cannot identify right by our camp.
This seems like an excellent challenge of your mind, spirit, and body. Good luck. You see, he just like leans back in his bedroll and closes his eyes.
Great.
So Master Shifu's gone.
It's a little late for me to put on my armor.
Angus, we're acting like a special little kid.
As you two are looking, you see the boulder stand up. And that's when you realize, from the silhouette of the moon, that this was not a boulder with a person sitting next to it. This is some kind of very large humanoid. And it stands up to full size, and it stretches out its arms, and you see its massive torso and arms, and relatively small head, and it starts walking down the hill towards your camp. And that is reroll on this episode of Era of Exploration. We'll find out what exactly this large creature is on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Thanks for switching, Carafa. Peace out. Bye.
Well, hello, and welcome to Bill Allan World. I am Wizzy, the Wizard. I'm back once again to remind you to subscribe and click on the notifications button, and also watch videos that are over there. Tune in to the next episode of whatever show you were just watching and watch other shows featuring Bill. He made me say that because he's a narcissist. Okay, bye.